Hello, welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. And today we got returning guests. This time he by himself. It's my man Slice. What is going on,
Appreciate
man?
Appreciate you having me. Appreciate you having me here, man.
Good to come back. Good to check in, man. It's happening. Last time you was here with Berto, y'all was talking about the running group you guys are doing. That's still going on, right?
Yeah.
How's that going actually?
It's going pretty good. A lot has changed, but still, doing the same things pretty much at community events, running races, just, grinding, man.
Right. And you definitely big into the running and all these too, man. Completed the Boston Marathon, your first Boston Marathon. This past April.
That's right.
First, how was it? Just the experience, the environment, all that.
It was crazy. It was incredible. Just getting out there. The crowds are crazy, man. It was just like a big party out there, dude. I loved every second of it. They kept me into it the whole way, man. Like I tell people, I put my headphones on just in case I needed them, and I didn't have to play them one time because it was just so many people pushing you, motivating you. It was just like, I'm just soaking this all up, you know what I'm saying? So it was a great experience for sure, and I'm happy to say that I completed it.
Right. And so many, being part of something like that so big with so many runners from, not even from the state, but around the world coming to this, right? Yeah. When you see all of them, just like, what's kind of going through your mind when you just see everybody from different parts of the world coming to Boston to do this one thing every year?
I was just like, it's crazy to think about that, because it's like from all 50 states, there's somebody from all 50 states first off, and then all the other countries surrounding too, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, I'm a part of this. I'm usually on the other side of it, spectating, just watching it, and to finally be able to be a part of that, it was just like an overwhelming feeling, just happy, just like so many different emotions going on at once, you know what I'm saying? So, just very happy, man. Very happy to be a part of it.
Right. And it's an all-day thing, too. It's an all-day thing, but it's like big mentally for everybody. It's like one of those things you gotta, you gotta get through physical, but it's also the mental aspect is key on that. How were you just able to get your mental state ready for those 26 miles?
Just, when it comes down to the training pretty much, that's when you lock in and just realize I'm going to be out here probably running for at least 4 hours, you know what I'm saying? So when you get to the training process, it's just about, developing that, okay, I'm going to be on my feet for this long, you know what I'm saying? Just staying in tune with that. Just keep moving the legs, honestly, because your mind will shut down before your legs will. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? If you listen to your mind and you're like, oh, I want to stop, then you're going to stop, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to be like, okay, through the training process, just keep going, even when it hurts, just keep going, because at one point there is going to be that finish line, you know what I'm saying? And no matter how much you're hurting, no matter what, you see that finish line, and it's just like a sense of accomplishment, I grinded it out for the last 6 months, training, eating, hitting the gym every day, just being consistent with it, through the ups and the downs of training, everything's not positive all the time. Right. Some days you don't want to do it, but you just got to get out there, and that's why it's good to just have people there, supporting you and pushing you too, because, if you don't, man, it's, you can easily just be like, nah, I'm not doing it today, you know what I'm saying? And that's where mentally you got to be like, okay, they're pushing you, you see how many people really have your back and want you to, get it done, and that'll help you a long way too, so. Yeah,
and from you starting up from running 5Ks, 10Ks and stuff, well, how did those ones prepare you for the big ones, right? Like, how did the training for the 5K, 10K help you to prepare for this one, which is a lot more than that?
Yeah, 100%. No, I just think it's about the moving time. Okay, 5K, 3 miles, right? And then the 10K, 6 miles, right? And then I think after a while, you just kind of build that muscle. You build the muscle, you build, the strength to be like, okay, I can keep going, I can do more. So you go 10K to a half marathon, you know what I'm saying? You hit 13 miles, and then again, you got people around you running with you, right? They're like, yo, let's do a marathon next. And then in your mind, you're like, I don't know if I can do that, you know what I'm saying? And then you just really start training 13 miles, 18 miles, 20 miles, and then, it's just, when race day comes, it's just like, okay, we here. So we got to do it. So yeah, man, it's just building up that muscle memory, as you get to further distances, and again, a lot of it's mental too. Just okay, let's do it. Let's lock in, man.
But how much easier is it to have someone that you can actually train with? Because we all know whenever we're training for something, whether it be any type of sporting event, just anything, it's hard to do it by yourself. But then when you get somebody else, a couple other people to help you or to join along, it makes it a lot easier, right? So how are those your group, your support system able to be there and help you train and be part of that training?
No, it's also just like way more fun when you're with people, You're not just like in your mind the whole time, just like, again, sometimes your body doesn't feel right that day, and when you're by yourself, and it's just like, I got 10 miles left, But if you're running with other people, like you take your mind off it, you're having conversation, you're just having fun out there. It might be a little slower, like, as far as like pace wise, but like, it just takes your mind off it. The next thing you know, it's like, okay, we only got 5 miles left, or we're already 6 miles in, 7 miles in, you know what I'm saying? So I think definitely running with people, has its benefits, you know what I'm saying? And, really through a lot of the training, I didn't run with a lot of people, a lot of it was by myself, but, the days that I did get out there with my people, it was a pleasure to be out there with them, and you just recognize how much, not easier it is, but in a sense, easier to get those runs done, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And we both come from basketball, right? So we're used to conditioning, doing certain types of conditioning, like being in shape for certain stuff. So like running isn't really a big thing because of, when you're playing basketball, all the running you do and stuff like that. But did you feel like those days of basketball also kind of prepare you to with the discipline aspect? Because there was that certain discipline you had to have, to be great and to be able just to finish things.
100%, yeah. I tell people all the time, I used to play basketball all the time, and we're not out there. Well, we're out there constantly running back and forth, but we're playing with the ball. We have 10 people on the court.
Right.
So it takes our mind off. Okay, like we're running all like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, even suicides, things like that, just staying focused, staying locked in, that definitely helped a lot with the running. So I'll give it to basketball. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, there was a couple other folks from Lynn that participated in the marathon, right? We're seeing a lot. We got 5Ks and 10Ks that happen in the city too. But how good is that to just see some folks from the city being able to do that? Just showing, if there's, we got a wave of track athletes, if they want to do that, just showing that Lynn, we could, anything you put your mind to it, you can actually 100%. Do it. And being from Lynn, you could also represent your city really well like that.
And that's the best thing about like the marathon. It's on a big stage, right? One of the best marathons in the world. And then we come from a city, where we come from, you know what I'm saying? And there's really not a lot of people that you see, not necessarily running, but, doing marathons and things like that. And I think that when you get out there and represent your city, represent your family, you know what I'm saying? And just represent the culture of where we come from, it's like it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal, and part of my training and a lot of days that kept me going was the fact that okay, I'm representing this place. I'm representing my kids. I'm representing my family, my supporters, like the charity that I ran for. You know what I'm saying, and be able to be part of that is such a big deal, and it means a lot, man. It means so much.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the charity you ran for?
So the Progeria Research Foundation. It's a rare childhood disease where a lot of the kids don't make it like past 14 years old, so they age quicker, and I just want to thank them so much for giving me the opportunity to be part of that, see what it's really about, and seeing the hard work that they put in for these kids behind the scenes, trying to raise funds to develop medicine, for these kids to last longer. And actually, they have developed something. Obviously, they're in the lines of developing, but it has developed where kids, you start seeing some of them to 28 years old, 20 years old. And I had the pleasure of meeting one at the Boston Marathon Expo, just hearing them talk, seeing them, and, realizing, okay, I'm running for him. I'm running for those kids, man. And, it's just like just does something to your heart, man, and your brain, and you're just like, I want to go out there and put on for them, because besides the training, I'm raising funds and stuff too,
Right.
so that's just another obstacle in itself, because we had to raise like 10 grand, you know what I'm saying? So it's an obstacle, but you realize like what you're doing it for, who you're doing it for. So again, like Progeria, they do a lot of work behind the scenes, man. They put on races and stuff too, 5Ks, and they're always just fighting for these kids. So like to be a part of that, it was an honor and a blessing to be a part of that.
Yeah. How long did it take you? You told me off there, but how long did it take you to actually complete this year's marathon? To complete the marathon?
So it took me 4 hours, 13 minutes, and 19 seconds. So pretty much like a 9:40 pace the whole way. So I was happy with it.
Right. What was that? What would you say was the most difficult part about completing the race? So was there a certain spot in the run that you that you had difficult with, or that was a little challenging, I should say? So
honestly, the most challenging part of the marathon for myself was when I hit mile 24, I hurt my foot. So, and when I ran my first marathon, it was the same thing, but I hurt it at mile 22. So I had to run 4 miles, and figure out a way to, accept that pain right there and still be able to run through it. So this time, mile 24, it happened again. And I'm just like, well, I got 2 miles left.
Right.
I gotta grind it out. So pretty much like, I felt good the whole way, just the whole way. My nutrition was right, hit every water station, doing things like that to stay on top of my game. So, for later on in the race, and then they had spectators out there handing out bananas, oranges, water. So like you were good with fuel the whole way as long as you, stayed on top of that. So pretty much the whole way I felt good until mile 24 when I hurt my foot a little bit.
Hey man, at least you was able to get to that point. Those 2 miles might be hard, but it's only 2 miles when you think about it, right?
Exactly. I ran 24, so what's 2 more? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What is kind of like the goals moving forward with this? Right? As you say, you do a lot of races to raise funds to bring awareness and stuff.
Yeah.
Is this something you're looking forward to do it again or something like that?
Yeah. So actually, I applied for the London Marathon for next year. So it's a lottery, so it's not a guarantee that I'll get picked for it, honestly. So I think I might have the opportunity to run for Progeria again next year. So if I don't get into London, I'll possibly do Boston again. And besides like marathon, and I want to step it up to like ultra marathon and like trail running, like doing like 30 plus miles.
Okay.
Maybe like a 50 mile in one day, things like that. I've been binge watching like ultra marathon series on YouTube, and it's itching. It's in the back of my mind every day, and I'm like, I want to push myself to just do hard things. You know what I'm saying, and know that we can complete things like that. And you push your body, keep pushing your body and push it. You realize that there's, not necessarily there's no limit, but if you push it to a limit, then you'll realize you have more in the tank to keep going, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to test that out.
Hey, man, and always got to test yourself, see where you could go. And also, as far as like people if people do want to start getting into the running, being part of the run journey, right? If they want to be able to join your run club and stuff like that, first, where can they find the page and to find out the information about all that?
So you can actually reach out to me on Facebook or on Instagram at Solice Reynoso or Running United Nationwide. We have our own page on Facebook too, so you can kind of check that out. It's also on Instagram. Just personally reach out to me or anybody they see that's part of Running United, and you know what I'm saying, it's really not much. We'll figure something out, get together, we'll start slow, but I encourage the people to get out there and at least try running, try walking more, try running, because it's also, it's good for the physical, but it's also good for your heart. It's good for the mental. It's good there's so many benefits to it. You know what I'm saying? So.
And just by getting up and moving, just moving your legs and moving your body and stuff like that. It don't even have to be for an hour or so. Like even like 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes or so. That's usually what the doctors say. Just trying to do something active just to keep everything going and stuff like that.
You set off those endorphins in your body, man. It leads to a good day too. You just feel good. You feel good about yourself. You just, makes the day better. You rub off on others. You just never know what kind of impact that running can have on you that you can, push to the next person. So, you know, I encourage it. Like you said, it don't have to be an hour, 30 minutes. It could be 10, 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Run to the end of the block and back, run around the block a couple times.
Right.
You know, walk, hit the gym, do something. You know what I'm saying? And it's positive, though.
Run around your backyard or something like that.
That's it. You know, some suicides or something.
Right,
you know what I mean? A little something over there.
It's good work, man.
Yeah, man, it is good work and it's beneficial. So, you know, I encourage everybody to try it at least once. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Also, before we get out of here, make sure you plug in the shop. You know, he cuts hair, so if you need your kids hooked up, make sure you
reach out to us at Legendary Barbers in North Reading, Massachusetts. Man, we won't let you down. We got 7 barbers there, and they're all incredible. Counting myself, you know, I got to put myself in there. But no, I've been there for 9 years, and it's growing, and it's an incredible place to be. Also, I want to shout out just Progeria Research Foundation. Definitely. You know, I want to shout out Mukala for having me today. I want to shout out my family, my girl, my kids, you know, my running team, just everybody that had a part in me being successful and being able to finish the marathon. Because that was one big dream of mine. Once I got that call, you know, it's kind of nerve-wracking too, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's 26 miles again. Like, what am I going to do? It's winter time. Got to train through the winter time. So just everybody that supported me through the last pretty much year. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and hopefully I'll be back soon.
Yeah, definitely. Your dad still hooping? Does he still get out there?
He don't be hooping, but he got a basketball hoop in his yard, so you know we'll get out there sometimes and you know shoot some hoops. You know, during the summer we might have like little 2-on-2s back there, but you know he actually took up the running for a little while too, and he's been telling me he wants to get back too. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get to run a 5K with him soon or something.
That'll be great, man. He was always active.
Yeah, he was. 100% he was. 100%.
That's a man right there.
Yeah, man. We'll see if I get him back out there.
My man.
Appreciate you having me, dog.
Appreciate
You're the man.
you.
Yes, sir.
You guys are watching Athletes Corner. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.